So we have the minor league baseball scores for April 5th, 2026 for AAA, AA, Hot A, Single A. So we have Iowa 6-2 over Louisville. Indianapolis gets a nice, much needed win over Indianapolis. They were 0-3 against the. They were 0-3 against the St. Paul Saints, and now they're 2-4 against the Columbus Clippers, which is a nice start. Not the perfect, but not terrible though. You know, for a team that's not the top team. And then Scranton and Wilkes-Barre blew out Rochester 16-5. Syracuse 4-3 over Toledo. Gwinnett 1-0 over Round Rock. Nashville defeat Charlotte 7-5. Jacksonville 2-0 defeat of Chagrin. And we have Las Vegas defeats Oklahoma City 9-3. Omaha 4-3 win over Buffalo. Reno 3-2 over Albuquerque. Sacramento 9-5 over Salt Lake. Tacoma 6-5 over Paso. Lehigh Valley 5-3 over Durham. Norfolk blows out Memphis to give Memphis their first loss of the season, 9-1. Memphis did not have a great game overall. Especially their pitching. They had only 5 hits. Norfolk did. Norfolk had 5 hits. So Norfolk really Norfolk really did well getting hit by pitches, taking walks, really smart hitting, not forcing nothing. That is just huge for Norfolk. And then that was a 7-inning game too. 1 in the first for both teams, 4 in the second for Norfolk, 2 in the fourth, and 2 in the sixth. And then Memphis ends up winning the second game, 8-7-3. Memphis with 2 in the first, Norfolk with 2 in the second, and then Memphis with 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth for both teams, and then 2 in the fifth for Memphis. So it's 7-3. And then Worcester ends up defeating St. Paul 4-2. Worcester with 4 runs in the seventh, but St. Paul with 1 run in the first and second in the 7-inning game, and then in 10-inning game. In the second, Worcester with 5. And then 1 in the second for St. Paul, 2 in the third for Worcester, then 2 in the fourth, 3 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth, 1 in the seventh, and then it's 9-all. Remember, there was 2 in the first for Worcester, and there was 1 in the first for St. Paul, and then 1 in the ninth for both, or actually 8-all. Excuse me, so it was 8-all. So 1 in the first for Worcester, and then it was 8-all, and then it was 9-all going in after 8-9, and then it's 11-9 with the lead. And then in 6th inning, shortened game due to weather in Columbus, Ohio. A shortened game due to weather. Chattanooga wins the shortened 6th inning game 4-0. It was 5 completings, but Chattanooga did go into 6, but it only has to be 4.5 innings total. 5 if you're the home team. And Chattanooga scored 2 in the second and 2 in the fifth to win 4-0. 4-0, 5 a shutout in 5 completings. And then 5 innings shortened shutout. It wasn't even a 7-inning game. So it's a complete shortened game. Shorter than even a doubleheader shortened. And then Richmond 11-9 over Erie. Birmingham. So I said Birmingham 10-5 over Knoxville. Rocket C 9-8 over Roxy. Springfield 6-4 win over Amarillo. And then there's a makeup. So Binghamton, New Hampshire are going to make that up on April 29th. Portland and Somerset are going to make that up on April 29th as well. And then Montgomery and Pensacola has postponed that game due to weather. They could not. Are they playing though again this season? And the 29th is Wednesday. Both teams. So Binghamton and New Hampshire. So game 1 is at 5:05 Eastern. Game 2 will be at 7:35, 8:05 Eastern, somewhere around there. And Portland Somerset playing game 1 of the doubleheader at 11:05 Eastern. Could be an education game. I know they do have games that are early on for like kids' days in minor league baseball. They start like 11, or 10 Eastern, or like 10 local, 11 local, for kids' days. And they have them for kids, to watch the games in like summer camps or just school games. Or it could just be like an early start time, because Major League Baseball has early start times as well. They do have like noon Eastern games, 1 Eastern games. They do. And some of them do not get the highest attendance, but they do get them games, especially like Wednesday. They know they like maybe a day, say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they're doing a series. And then Wednesday they're doing a series, and that's the getaway day. And there's say one team is playing a team on the East Coast, and they're traveling to play the West Coast team on Thursday, Then they'll play and they'll travel, They might play an early game on like a noon Eastern game, say on Wednesday, and then Thursday they'll be playing a night game in West Coast, like Seattle or California, So it could be that. But in minor league baseball, they don't play they play 6 game series against each team. Tuesday through Sunday is 6 games against the same team without no traveling. 6. So they're just playing an early game for the kids, kids, or it could be just the minor league baseball channel on Bally Sports. Bally Sports has MiLB channel, and like it's like Stadium. They have like Stadium, which is over the air, which used to be like local TV affiliates. Had like a small local TV provider with like and some Mountain West sports games, like the third tier rights, the rights that weren't when ESPN had it, CBS Sports Network, and then they had Patriot League rights. They had Conference USA rights, and they had West Coast Conference rights. They weren't in the top tier rights for sports games, but it was like the rights that weren't on TV, linear TV. Or just maybe like a couple games, But I know the West Coast Conference and West were perfectly through them. Yeah. Then we have AAA. We have high A. Cedar Rapids 14-8 over Peoria. Cedar Rapids still won despite having 5 errors. Eugene keeps the season undefeated. It's the first series. It's the first series, the 3-game series, and then due to Major League Baseball All-Star break, they'll have a 3-game series. Then, they'll play with Friday, Saturday, Sunday for Major League Baseball instead of having an All-Star game. They do not have like a All-Star game that is affiliated with like all 3 divisions, like the best from all 3 division, all 4, maybe single A, high A, double A, triple A, even like a minor league baseball from all 4 like leagues, all 4 different levels. They don't do that. Like the best from all levels. They don't do that. And then Spokane defeats Everett 10-9 in Tings. Tri-City 7-5 over Vancouver. Tri-City stays unbeaten. Fort Wayne 4-1 over Great Lakes. And then in the first game of the doubleheader, it was Fort Wayne with 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, and then Great Lakes was 1 in the fourth. And then in the second game of the Great Lakes dominated with 2 in the first, but had a 9-run starting. That's what really helped them. The Great Lakes with 2 in the fourth, and Fort Wayne with 1 in the fourth, and then 1 in the fifth for Fort Lakes, 1 and 2 in the sixth, and then Winston-Salem 6-2 win in the first game of the Bowling Green with the 6-2 win over Winston. For Bowling Green with a 4 spot in the first, then 2 in the fourth, then Winston with 2 in the seventh, then Winston with a 10-5 win over Bowling Green in the makeup game from Saturday. Bowling Green with 1 in the first, then Winston with 3 in the second, 4 in the fourth, then 2 in the fifth. Bowling Green with 4 in the fifth, and then it was 9-5, and then Winston with 1 in the seventh to make it 10-5, and then there's a postponement. Jersey Shore and Wilmington will be playing on May 20th. Yep, that's May 20th, which is Wednesday, May 20th. And then Quad C's in South Bend were scheduled to play doubleheader. They ended up canceling the 3-game set. They ended up not being able to play any of the 3 games in South Bend, Indiana. Neither team was. So, and then they're going to make up the second game. They're going to make up the one of the games, and they're going to play Friday, June 5th. They're not going to have an 8-game set next time they play. They're not scheduling that out. Hudson Valley and Brooklyn have postponed that, and I wonder if they're either wondering what day they're going to play, or either Hudson Valley and Brooklyn are not scheduled to play again this season. Maybe, or they could play during the All-Star break, but they're not doing that. And then Frederick Hub C is postponed to rain. They could be figuring out what time they want to play, or what day they want to play, or if they're gonna. It might be a team thing, like a mutual agreement between the teams thing. I could definitely see that. And then in Single A, we have Lakeland 3-0 over Tampa, Fredericksburg 10-8 over Augusta, and Fresno 7-3 over Vizsla, and Wilson 9-4 Fayetteville. So all these teams, some teams in Double A, High A, Single A, some played on Thursday, some started on Friday, some started on Thursday, and the ones that started on Thursday did not play a game on Sunday. So, and that's fair, because then one team, they did a 4-game, they might have 2 games at the All-Star break. They could do like a Saturday, Sunday, or a Friday, Saturday after the All-Star break, the Major League All-Star break, but they're not doing that. They're doing that, so it's a 3-game series for all the teams after the All-Star break, and I think they're kind of doing that so that you get the AAA, the High A, the AA, High A, Single A teams, get different teams get different exposure, just I think is good, but yeah, that's it for the minor league baseball scores for Sunday, April 5th, 2026, and it's a day late, but I was busy on Sunday, so, but tomorrow I'll do minor league baseball scores for Tuesday as well, and I'll also include the rookie ball as well when it is started, but that's not started yet. It's not gonna start for a while, so after the college baseball season's over. Typically, it doesn't start after NCAA baseball season is over. The regular season is over, at least. Because it reminds me of a collegiate baseball league, those collegiate baseball leagues.